Okay, let's start. Good morning, everyone. This is Hamid Jafar. I'm from Fard Solutions, but I'm also working at the same time with AI-DBA software based in Canada, Vancouver. Um, Today is the workshop related to AI-DBA. You may have heard about this product or you are using this product, but we recently released a lot of new features such as blocking detection, alerts, notifications, um, such as like severe alerts and errors, recommendations, and many more. So during this workshop or just a demo and the event, I'm gonna go through all these features and I will explain to you how to use that, or even how to sign up your own account, or if you would like to get through our partners, how you can get it through our partners, and you can use this software to manage your database servers. This product called AI-DBA for SQL Server at the moment, we are having some plan to add on MySQL and Oracle as well. And based on our build experience, we realized that the database response actually impact the business operation. And usually when those businesses that they are having robust and stable database performance and the environment, they have stable business operation and everything goes smooth and they can rely on the systems. But what if the database performance or the response time or the stability is not consistent? Then it causes many issues, as I'm sure some of you or many of you experience that. The server is down, business operation cannot go through the, submitting the order, doing the operations. Nowadays, everything is based on the system and the software. So it really brings trouble to the business. So we came out with this idea and the product we designed and developed in the past 4 years, and now we are using it for our own clients and some other clients as well, and partners. So AI-DBA basically has many components, but I just want to go through the glance, which is AI administration. It will administrate, monitor, and recommend the changes based on the AI machine learning and the database workload. Then it comes with the performance optimization, which has many subcomponents to analyze the workload performance, to analyze the queries, to find out the long-running queries, intensive queries, blocking, recommendations related to indexes, execution plans, and so on. It has many other subcomponents, which I'm gonna demo to you. Intelligence over data security, like if you enable that feature, it will perform the analysis on the data access pattern, the user access pattern, and it can generate the report for you that say, okay, the specific user accessing specific database or the table, how frequently they are accessing and what time to what time or what day of the week they are mostly accessing. Intelligence communication, which um, AI-DBA understand your database server workload and you are able to communicate with it with a chat box, which we have Ask Me SQL. So you can ask anything related to your environment and the SQL Server and the Windows Server. Um, and if you, let's say you would like to have some human aid or the guidance, then you can just submit a feedback, then our support team will contact you. And another feature is extensive knowledge base. When it comes to the workaround, like something happened and some severe alert happens or the error occurs in the SQL Server, so AI-DBA needs to look around and find out what is the best solution. So this component is basically searching through the internet, summarize the contents, the web pages, and come out with a solution. Um, These are the main 5 components that AI-DBA has at the moment, and it has many subcomponents as well. How to engage with AI-DBA? Basically, you just need to sign up and create your own account, which is free at the moment. Um, not free at the moment. It has premium account, but you can have the free account as well with the limited features, which you are able to manage all your SQL Server environment with AI-DBA. You can reduce the maintenance time. You can reduce the reduce the troubleshooting time, and also you can improve the performance, security, administration at the same time. And the payment model is pay as you go. It's based on the consumption and the feature usage. So if let's say you have a server that it doesn't consume a lot of resources in AI-DBA, then the charges is low compared to the production environment or a database server that is having a lot of workloads. We try to make the AI-DBA as a system that it learns from other systems as well. Just to be upfront here, when AI-DBA is evaluating and analyzing a workload in your database server, it's also checking if there is any issue within your environment that it happens to some other environments, different region, different company. If it's similar, then it can alert you and say that, hey, some other company, some other server with the similar workload, similar database size, similar hardware resources, it encountered these issues because you guys have the both same pattern of the issues. And this is something like give you the heads up if let's say the disk is going to fail or the performance is going to drop. And another way of anticipating the issues or uh, giving you the heads up is the internally, which means that it compared the same server with its own pattern and the historical data and the servers that is within your company and you enrolled with AI-DBA. So it checks both locally and globally, and it sends you the alert and the notification. Um, if you guys have no questions about just what I discussed, then I would like to show you the product in detail. Okay, perfect. So this is the portal of the AI-DBA. If you would like to um, log in or sign up, I'm gonna drop you the link in the chat and you can have it. So once you go to the portal, this is the sign in. If you would like to register, you can register with your Google account. If you would like to register with your company account, you can just register here with your email address, password, and the region you would like to host your AI-DBA account. We came out with the region due to the data privacy, and also some companies, they want their data to be hosted within the country or the region. So when we talk about the data, is actually the health check data. Volatile data is more on monitoring data. We don't connect to your user databases or extract any business data. We don't do that. AI-DBA just connect and monitor and try to understand the workload. And the data is actually purged every 45 days, which means that only the last 45 days data is hosted. And once you close the account, everything will be purged within 7 days. For your case, because this event is for Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines. So you guys can connect to the Asia Pacific, Singapore region. Then once you click, you come out with your email password, it will create the account and you can just simply log in. In our case, I'm gonna use the demo account. Once we sign in here, we have the panel, we have the shortcuts for the pages, we have some notification menu and the ask me chat and the feedback and the command line and the profile. So this is similar to other portals. So if let's say you create your account and you would like to enroll the server, you just simply click on the servers, then you click on the enroll, then you can enroll your new SQL Server environment here. AI-DBA at the moment, it supports the SQL Server on-premise, on cloud, as long as it's SQL Server on virtual machine or physical machine. Azure SQL Database, Azure SQL Managed Instance, SQL Synapse, Google Cloud for SQL Server, and AWS RDS for SQL Server. Once you select the platform, then you need to choose your gateway, the access mode, whether you want to install the gateway, then use your own gateway or use the cloud gateway. Direct cloud, it's using the shared gateway. The performance wise is not that high performing. So we always suggest that our clients that they are having many SQL instances, they install the data gateway. So once you click data gateway, then you can choose your data gateway here. Then the access of the model, username, and the password, then it's done. You click next and it will enroll. Once it enrolled, AI-DBA performs the health check immediately. That's the initial health check. So you click on the server name, it appears as many features here. Is the overview page that is giving you the glance of the database environment, the resources, the last heartbeat of the SQL Server, the tags, and here we have the monitoring side, which is the CPU utilization, memory utilization, available space, and use space. And another thing that is using the machine learning and the AI here is the workload. So when we click on the workload, AI-DBA comes out with the peak hours per day and the non-peak hours. So those filled circle is the peak hours and the non-filled circle is the non-peak hours. So you can see that this server is having this pattern of peak hour and the non-peak hours. This actually allows the DBA to schedule the maintenance accordingly. And also it comes out with the understanding of number of transactions per day and per hour. So you can see that Monday, 1 a.m., 409 transactions happens, and the highest is Saturday, 6 p.m., 4,200 plus. And another feature is the insight, which is descriptive analysis of your server. And it come out for storage resources, CPU, memory, long-running queries, and so on. So it comes up with all this data, then it try to analyze it and come out with the descriptive analysis. This is good for non-technical people, usually the non-technical management level, and they want to understand how the database server is behaving and running. You are able to pause the monitoring for that specific server through the AI-DBA just for 24 hours, not more than that. And you can just set the reason of the pausing as well. Once you pause, the alerts, notifications, nothing works for that specific server. So you can just perform the upgrade or the hardware maintenance and so on. Once you enroll the SQL Server on AI-DBA, first thing that you need to do as administrator, you go to the configuration page, then you need to make sure that all this configuration for that specific enrolled SQL instance is correct. Like for example, the health check, how frequently you would like to set the health check. By default is twice a week, which is usually 2 days in a week, is based on the time that you enroll, it try to allocate it. So let's say 8:30 a.m. Tuesday and Saturday 8:30 a.m. Or you can go for interval based, means that every 32 hours you would like to have a health check for this server. You are also able to set here, would you like the health check to run on and off? Even though you set the schedule here, you still can say that, okay, I would like to turn it on or off. Or you would like to say that, okay, the first health check, I don't know what is going to, take the snapshot or collect the data, what sort of data is collecting. You can turn it off for the uploading the health check cache, because AI-DBA, it collects the health check cache inside internally. Then after that, it will upload it to the cloud environment gradually, which you are able to turn it on and off here for that specific server to review what sort of data has been collected. But after you verify it, we suggest that you keep it on because it should not be interrupted. Then we have auto execution for recommendation. This is the hard lock for it. If let's say you set the autopilot rule and you set it on, but you want to make sure that it doesn't run at all, then you can turn off this auto execution for recommendations. By default is on. Access pattern gathering and analysis. This is for the user access pattern analysis. Network activity analysis between your SQL Server and the connections from the application server or the users. Storage activity analysis. It will try to analyze what sort of activities been done for the SQL Server storage. Like for example, if someone suddenly copy a huge file into a OneDrive, then it will send you a notification and the alert that say that, oh, in the past 5 minutes or 15 minutes, this much of space been utilized. Why? Sometimes it happens as part of our job as database administrator. The storage suddenly occupied so fast and we don't know what's going on. So this feature basically analyze the activities and inform us what's happening. Stale plan cache analysis and cleansing. It will clean up the stale or the outdated plan caches. It boosts up the performance immediately, even once you install the the AI-DBA and roll your SQL Server. It automatically tune up the performance. Collecting operating system performance counter, collecting system service information, autopilot. So once the autopilot is on, you can click on the rules and you can specify to AI-DBA, okay, if there is any create missing indexes or create statistics or even index defragmentation recommendations, please auto execute it for me. So once we set it, it will automatically execute it for us. It schedule it based on the here non-peak hours because it understand the pattern. Then it's scheduled based on the non-peak hours and execute it automatically. Here we have auto comment execution. This one, if let's say you would like to perform the always on availability group setup, or you would like to set up database mirroring or replication, this one needs to be on. But if you plan to not use AI-DBA to set up always on replication or database mirroring or even log shipping, then you can just turn it off. Network information collection, which is more on the net bias info and network card information like IP address, MAC address, all those bytes sent, byte received, and so on. Here we have notification setting, cloud storage setting, and the DevOps. If you would like to integrate with Azure storage or the GitHub, you are able to just configure it here and it's going to connect and push the recommendations, the scripts to GitHub. And if there is any database backup you specify in AI-DBA, it's gonna push it to Azure Blob Storage. We have connection info here and the timetable. Basically, the timetable is more on the intelligence workload analysis. If we turn it off, we need to specify all these peak hour and the non-peak hours manually. So by default is on and it works well. We only turn it off in case that we need to influence the AI-DBA engine. Another page is the databases, which comes with a glance of database information such as size, memory, CPU utilization per core, and IO style per millisecond unit. If let's say you check 1 DB, you are able to copy, take snapshot, or move that specific database to another server. Or you can have insight of that database. This is descriptive insight related to resource utilization, queries, workloads, the status of the DB, and it's also based on the historical data. It tried to forecast and predict any issue that is going to happen to this DB. So every database, every time it gets the health check, it comes out with the new insight. So the health check is very critical for AI-DBA. If let's say you would like to move the DB to another server, you just choose the destination, the new name, or set it offline, and the staging. So staging here, we have two stagings, data gateway or Azure storage. We are able to copy as well. It's the same thing. We can choose the staging, Azure storage, or the data gateway. This is part of it. We are working on more features under these databases, which you can do it through the UI, analyzing the database itself, the object exploring, like source code versioning, comparison, and so on. Another feature that we have right now is the optimized queries. AI-DBA analyze the workload, find out the long-running queries, unhealthy queries, then it try to optimize it. And when it tried to optimize it, it come up with the estimated improvements, as we can see here. So if let's say we look for something like, for example, 90% improvement for that specific object, this is the original query, and this is the optimized query. For rewriting the query and optimizing the query, AI-DBA has three different phases. One phase is to change and modify the metadata of the object. So in this case, by with schema binding, it tried to improve the performance, and it's tested by itself and come out with the 90% estimated improvement. If this schema binding doesn't work, it will try to rewrite the query. So it goes step by step. If rewriting the query doesn't work and it doesn't improve much, then it's going to alter the underlying tables if there is any. Then altering underlying tables, it's like adding columns, making the computed persisted columns, adding on more indexes, or removing certain indexes. But anyhow, it will try to check if any of these three doesn't perform well much, then it will stick to the first step, which is the schema binding in this case. So it has multi-level of improvement. In some cases, you may see that it says that the table need to be what I call it, altered or add on or modified. One thing I would like to highlight here is that optimized queries is the manual job, which means that automatically it's tuned, but the DBA need to click here, review the code, copy, paste, and execute it, because it will impact the database and the application behavior, so it cannot be done automatically. Here we have another feature, backup and recovery. So any user, non-technical, I can say that a technical people that they are not really DBA, we call them accidental DBA, they are junior DBA. They can just run a backup, restore, or cleanup by just a click. Here you click, then you choose the database itself, then you select your destination, then the type, description, and the options here. If let's say you would like to encrypt, you choose the certificate. If not, then let it be. Then you can click on submit. You can find out the history of the operation as well. You click on it, you can find out the logs, the location of the backup, which automatically AI-DBA decide where it needs to be stored. That's why you need to have the location of the backup here. You can even have the inside of the backup and the operation here, like how long it took, what is the minimum, maximum, and the sum of the time that it took, how many backups file you have available, how much is the size, whether they are corrupted, and how many backup set you have. You may restore a database from here as well. You can choose the backup, available backups, local, remotely, and remotely on the Azure Blob Storage. Sorry, this is Azure Blob Storage, this one HTTPS, and this is the remote storage, and this is the local storage. You are able to clean up as well. You can say that, oh, okay, any backup related to report DB and the cutoff time, for example, 1st December, I would like to clean up. So it says 3 backups, almost 0 GB will be saved, and the earliest recoverability is 6th of December. Would you like to take it? Then just click submit it and it will clean up for you. You don't need to manually go and do the cleaning up and save the storage space. Another feature we have is the alerts. You are able to set the alert here for the notification purpose. You click new. You can come up with the severity, like for example, error. You can say that if, let's say, buffer cache hit ratio average is less than equal 90%, and for example, latch wait time maximum is greater than equal 90, then you add or. Memory grant outstanding minimum is greater than 3. Check every 1 minute, past 30 minutes, number of violation 5, within the past 15 minutes, send an email. Or you may run a command here. You can say that select. You can type your script here or the command line, terminal command line, CMD, or nothing. Then submit it. Okay, the name, demo alert. And it will load up here. Now it's actually in the cache, so it might take some time, about a few seconds to 1 minute, then it will appear here. We will check back later on. And here we have the core, which is the recommendation system. Once the health check is done, AI-DBA come up with bunch of recommendations. This is the core of the system. And this is something that, you know, when the user enroll the SQL instance on AI-DBA, that's the main reason, is the recommendations. It come up with the categories like database related, important or optional, or server related, important or optional. And you are able to click on the I button to receive the explanation what this specific recommendation does. And this one is descriptive analysis based on the script that is generated. It's not the static analysis for server to server, client to client, or account to account is different. Once you click on it, you have the script, which is the change script, and this is the rollback script. If in case you apply the recommendation, but it caused some harm to your database or the application, then you are able to roll it back. Now, you plan to execute it. Just check, approve it, review the schedule options, apply immediately within 15 minutes, or apply during low workload, which is based on the workload analysis that it performed, or custom date and the time. Then you are able to set its specific date and the time, and submit it. Okay. You are able to look at the history as well. So here we have the history of the recommendations based on the executed ad. This is the latest. You can select, click. You can look at the change. If you plan to roll back the recommendation, you just select, revert, and submit it. Done. You are able to look at the effects of the recommendations for your database environment. It come out with the effects based on the execution of the recommendations. Is say, like, for example, here, user database file replacement. This one is update statistics plus the database configuration and so on. Then it impact on IO usage, CPU usage, memory usage, or query elapsed time. So you can see that this bunch of recommendation applied together, it actually reduced the IO usage. Or you can add on the exception. You can say that, hey, AI-DBA, I don't want you to generate any recommendation related to create individual logins. This is considered optional, and just submit it. Then it will just load it as exception. We have another page, performance insight, which is showing the performance metrics. You can also look at the active sessions or buffer cache hit ratio or any other things that you would like to see. Well, to see it here for the past 1 hour up to 24 hours for different aggregations. You would like to look at the long running queries, you can have it, but in this case, we don't have it at the moment, or intensive queries as well. Then blockings, which is something that DBAs like to have it as well. So it performed the analysis, it come out with the graph, it comes out with the analysis like this guy is the head blocker. You click on it, it come out with the script as well. Then you can confirm to kill it if you plan to. If not, then just remain it as it is. Severe alerts and error is another thing that it has. If let's say there's any error message that happens or error severity is more than 16, then it's considered severe alert and error. It appears here that source, whether it's SQL Server or Windows Server, error ID, raised at, and the message. So if let's say you click on it, it come out with the resolution. So AI-DBA doesn't leave you alone with the severe alert and saying, oh, this happens. It actually come out with the resolution as well. It asks you how to resolve this issue. It mentioned to you, sorry, not ask you. It mentioned to you that how to resolve it, and you can just follow the step-by-step guidance. If let's say you plan to find out certain severe alert and error, you are able to select the severity, like say 20, and the error 831. Then it actually appears here. And for every type of error message is periodically is checking the internet, come up with the summaries, the details, and try to summarize it as well, how you are able to resolve this error message. That's why we have the last update. So if let's say different things, we have the last update as well. Like 21st November. Most of them updated recently. Any questions so far? You may unmute yourself. Okay, then let's continue. We have another feature is the trace analysis. AI-DBA, as I said, it continuously analyzing the workload. It continuously monitoring the database servers, and it come up with the traces. So the trace is the real-time data that is streaming to the AI-DBA, and it appears here. And also it come up with the insight as well, like saying per day, what sort of information or the error messages it appears. Like this is the error, this is the info, this is the warning, and what is the descriptive analysis based on all this trace data that is captured. What's going on? What's happening inside the server? Then it come up with this descriptive analysis. One more thing that is very important for the DBAs and the management is the server documentation. It's very critical to have a proper design and proper structured documentation for your database servers. AI-DBA does that. You can export the documentation just by selecting the scan period here. Still loading. Yeah. So these are the scan period, which means is the health check period. Here, then you can select all the content you would like to have within the document and submit it. Then it generates. And it appears here. Once you click on download, then you can download the PDF file here. This is quite a heavy file. Yeah. So like this is 79 pages in our case. And it come up with the detailed technical graphs and the configuration, what needs to be done. Why is it so important to have all this data is a kind of snapshot, like long running queries, what type of recommendations we have, what type of warnings we have, predictions we have. You can look at it here, like server environment, installed services, the status of the service, configurations, MCR, what is the processor utilization for this specific database server, what needs to be done as part of database consistency check, and also the database insight as well in detail in the text type. It's based on the type and the content you choose, it generate, or you can subscribe it. You can say that, hey, after every health check, please generate and email us. Then it actually generate and email and say that, okay, the documentation is ready. Please download it from this location. Another feature that is using the AI machine learning is the warnings and predictions. The one that earlier I explained, it analyzes the database workload, the environment, the alerts, errors, and compare it to other environments, other servers, and try to find out the pattern locally and globally. So here we have the warning and predictions. Warnings is the local stuff locally happens. And we have the prediction here is locally and the globally events. So it can say that, okay, this database is having IO stale, or the browser is on and it's a risk for the hackers, to obtain the server access. Like for example, here we have experiencing severe IO stale. And once you click, it come up with the detail. Why is it important and how you are able to resolve it? So again, AI-DBA doesn't leave you alone with just the message itself. It actually come out with the workaround. And also the predictions here. It says that in the upcoming week, there's a potential for 9 occurrence of blocking due to write log. And why is it important? And how to resolve it. Okay. You are able to run for capacity planning. AI-DBA, it checks the resources utilization. It come out with the detailed capacity planning and the graph as well here. In the future, we are going to have very detailed capacity planning for this page. It will be quite different, which you are able to perform the planning per database as well in terms of storage, memory, CPU utilization, and what is the forecast as well for it. So you don't need to do the forecasting manually. AI-DBA will do that for you based on the historical data. And you are able to choose like in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, or 18 months, or 24 months, what will be the resource utilization based on the pattern that you have right now. This is our recent feature we added is the query terminal. Um, you are able to run your queries here, but the query is mostly related to the DBA stuff, which means that administration, maintenance, performance, security, and some others miscellaneous tasks, but is related to the what I call it, the administration task. Query terminal, you are not able to select your user databases. You are not able to select the any schema other than sys, which is the DMV schema. And we have here like templates. So you are able to choose, like, for example, database IO. Then you can click on run. Oh, some performance issues we have here right now. Let's say CPU utilization, try to run it. Yeah, so it come out with the CPU info and the messages like how many rows. It's based on this, it come out with the result. You are able to export the result or save the script or save as template. Another feature we have is the data classification. You are able to classify your database columns based on the classification we set here, like information type. You are able to select the sensitivity, keywords of that information type, and the display name. Like, for example, here, information type is banking, sensitivity is confidential. What is the keywords for banking related column names? Is the bank related data, example, debit, SWIFT, and so on. If let's say we click here, uh, sorry, let's say something that this is built in, so we are not able to edit. Let me create something. Test information type, critical keyword is, I don't know, is the IT information data, user login, and many more. And the description is related to IT and user information. Submit it. Then it will appear here. We have some caching. Yeah, as you can see that it appears. So once it cache and appears here, then we are able to come out with this. Like today, seems the performance is not that up to what I expected. It's a lot of loadings. Okay, let's look at the AI identified. So the AI basically also identify which column is considered as classified and what type of information type or sensitivity it has. You are able to choose, select, and just submit it. So AI-DBA will try to classify. What's the use of this classification? Once you classify AI-DBA, it will monitor the activities based on the classification closely instead of monitoring all kind of database tables activities. It will certainly narrow down to this classified data, specifically confidential and confidential GDPR. So it try to find out what's going on, who's accessing, who's analyzing or retrieving the data. and it send an alert and the notification. These are all related to the database server page. And here, if you want to export the inventory, you can just easily export it. So export inventory, it comes out with the Excel sheet with all sort of information related to the server, enrolled server. If you want to run manual health check or ad hoc health check, you just select and click on health check and submit it. Then it will schedule for health check. You would like to add on the let's say new users, then you can add on here new user, and you can select the role like user, add on the what server it needs to access. You can check it here. And the rule here is very nice to have. You are able to whitelist the client access point. Like for example, in our case, if let's say I said that I only can access through that specific IP address, and the range is 255.255, then my IP needs to be within this range. If I try to log in with any IP that is out of the range, then it will block me and it says that your IP is not whitelisted. This one is for use cases like companies, they don't allow anyone to access AI-DBA portal out of their company network. Because they just want to make sure that everyone connect through the portal, through their company network, and everything is monitored by them. So this is something that you can set it as well. Here is the page for the gateway. You can see the listed gateways. We have the cloud gateway, the versions of the gateway, and you can look at the installer as well. If you click on the subscription, you are able to see the subscription page with the spending for a month. This is the demo account. The price is quite high because even our partners, they are using it for showing the demo and training the client as well. This is the overview page. You can see the current billing per day and the detail as well. So it's pay-as-you-go model. Every feature, every activity, it has a charge. There's no like saying that fixed amount for specific server activity. Then cost analysis. You are able to perform the cost analysis month to month. So this is the period of December compared to November. So this is the total cost of December, and this is the variation compared to November. If you look at November, then it's different type of charging, the cost. Yeah. And it breaks down the cost by server, by feature. So you will know that what feature you should not use or you should use more, and what server is, having higher cost. You can see that certain servers like Azure SQL or SQL 2022 is consuming very little, but some server like ERP server is consuming a lot. And you can again come out with the detail here. We have cost alert. If you set the cost alert, you can have it here, like daily cost or actual. If let's say greater than certain amount, let's say $150, or the total monthly actual cost or the cost variation, then send an email. This is the email template you can create and start on beginning of the month, for example. Then it come out with it. You can able to remove it here. Yeah. We have another one is the cost budget, which you can set the cost budget for your environment. This is the cost that over the months that it happens for this account. You can set the reset cycle on monthly basis. Then you can come up with the amount. So the suggested monthly basis is this one based on the historical data. Then let's say we place it here, 4,434. Then we can click on advanced. We can say that, hey, this ERP system consumed a lot previously. I want to limit it to $500. Then I can set the threshold. If let's say $3,700 it consume, it send me an email. Then it basically come out with the demo alert. It come out with these things here. And here we have these invoices. Then you can see the invoices over time, the cost, and you are able to download the invoice here. Let's say one of it. Then you can look at the billing statement as well, which is detailed per server, per day, per feature, and how many quantity being used. Okay, another it's actually another one feature left, which is the Ask Me SQL. Then you can ask it, like for example, how to resolve error 831 in SQL Server. Then it come out, or how to upgrade SQL 2014 to 2022 in Hyper-V environment. Yeah. So it come out with the steps, or if let's say you need help, then you can come out with the feedback, you can come out with the details, then check here, contact about my feedback, then our support team will contact you as soon as possible. And here we have this command line, which you are able to type help. Then most of the changes that we did through the UI, you are able to do it through the command line as well. This is the AI-DBA product, and we are enhancing the features. I'm happy to hear from you whether it really works for your environment or you would like to give it a try, and how we can help you, me and my team. Yep. Yeah, thanks for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Amit,
Yes, Patrick. Yep.
your threshold setting for all the servers is predefined in the AI-DBA.
We have predefined as well, and we do customization as well. So if let's say, let me share again the screen here. So if let's say we look at the alert here, server alert SQL 2019, for example, alerts, then we add new, then we click on buffer cache hit ratio. Based on our previous configuration for different server, it appears with the value. If let's say I click on something else, it come up with the different value that other tenants they usually set. So again, for this default threshold here, it tried to understand what other companies or other DBAs they set usually and what is the value for it. Then it come out with this detail. This is something that it learns over the time.
How about can we do a grouping on the servers and then apply the threshold based on the group? Yeah.
If you would like to group on the server, this one doesn't have that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is per server itself.
Okay.
Hi Hamid, Novel here.
Hi, hi.
Did AI-DBA have features regarding SQL update patches, like alert on the latest update features?
Yes, it has. Basically, it come out under warning and predictions. It says that current patch is outdated, and it come out with the KB as well, KB number, so you can perform the download and install it. Yeah.
Uh, can automate by AI-DBA?
At the
Or
moment, no, but we are working on it as a feature. So everything will be automated.
sound great, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, Hamid.
Hi,
Junji here.
Junji.
Can I check with you with the health check features that
Mm-hmm.
your health check features can have more than one schedule? Means the two
Mm-hmm.
different schedule.
It's actually two different schedules. So best practice is twice a week, but for some certain environment, they might want it every certain hours. Then we can set it here. So basically it's two type of schedule, either alternate hour like here, like every 3 hours or every 45 hours, or you go by 2 days in a week.
Is this health check apply to all the server or how to say it can be separate server?
It can be separate server. So for this server, SQL 2019, this is the name of the SQL. I want to make sure that
Mhm.
just to know whether it's what version it is. Then we set it Friday and Monday. Okay, we save it. But for other server, I can set it different day. So I can say that 2016, it's different day, Monday and Thursday, 3 a.m.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
there any grouping function? Means like I want these two server have the same setting, like grouping up the.
grouping like you apply all one shot at the same time, for example,
Aha.
like this.
Yes, correct.
We don't have it at the moment, but we can,
Oh.
add on a button and some panel here. That's
Oh.
not a problem. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. Um, so if there's no question, I would like to show you the gateway that is running. So here is the gateway installer. Sorry, the installation, the service itself. So once we install the gateway, it runs, and let me go through the configuration here. The configuration is quite easy. Just within half an hour to 45 minutes, we usually install and configure the gateway and enroll the SQL instances. We just key in the email address and the password itself. Then we select the region. Then we sign in. Then it come out with the detail of this about the service, whether it's running, what is the account ID, the region, and so on. Then we are able to do the network diagnostic to the URLs, which needs to be whitelisted, the cache.ai-dba.net and the endpoints, either one for specific region needs to be whitelisted. And you are able to do the encryption as well. If let's say you say that, hey, I want to encrypt my data in AI-DBA, the health check data plus the credentials, whatever it is, inside the AI-DBA, and I want to keep the certificate by myself. I'm not gonna share it with AI-DBA. I can just create a new certificate here, or I can import the certificate, or use the existing certificates. Then once you click here and apply, it will encrypt all the credentials, the sensitive data in AI-DBA based on this encryption key. But there's one challenge here is you need to make sure if let's say you try to move the gateway to another server, the key also needs to be moved. Otherwise, you need to re-enroll or reconnect the servers or reconfigure the servers in the AI-DBA. Yep. I'm happy to answer your questions if you have any. If not, then I appreciate your time, and please let me know if you have any questions related to the features or how you would like to enroll on the AI-DBA and you would like to give it a try. Then let me know. You just drop me an email. Then I can ask my team to guide you and help you to setting up the AI-DBA and let it run for you.
Okay. Thank you, Amit.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Hamid.
You're most welcome.